So we move on to 8 Men Out,
Okay.
which has a rating of 7.2. Now, AJ, you and I have talked a lot about
At length.
at length about this movie, the book, the real stuff versus a lot of the fake stuff that has been thrown around regarding the scandal of the 1919 Chicago Black Sox.
Yeah. This was, aside from like Rookie of the Year and Sandlot, stuff that we're going to get to, this was probably my favorite movie of my childhood.
Wow. Okay.
I just but let me explain it to you for a second before this is, remember, I'm a young baseball kid and my grandmother was born in 1919. So there was always this like weird connection between like the Black Sox and my grandmother, and being a big baseball fan, I remember going to the video store and renting this movie and watching it and like falling in love with the Black Sox as a 9-10-year-old. And then every time we went to rent a movie, I wanted to rent 8 Men Out. So I saw it probably 4 or 5 times as a kid because it was the first like historical movie that like really helped me make it, and truly the movie that started my passion in baseball history.
Wow. Okay.
And all of that.
That's cool.
Okay. Fast forward a number of years and I read the book that the movie's based on, and I learn a lot of things from that book, but also being a member of the Society for American Baseball Research, there is a gentleman there that does a great job of actually telling the story of the 1919 Black Sox, which 8 Men Out and the book 8 Men Out do not accurately represent. And so knowing that and having done, I love the movie. I think it's very entertaining, and I think that it is very well done and put together, and they do a great job of telling the story. But you said it's what, a 6 point what?
No, 7.2.
Yeah, it's overrated.
We are in agreement.
It's overrated.
It's got great characters. It makes me feel so much for Buck Weaver, especially over anybody else, even over Shoeless Joe Jackson. But I think if any, out of those two, and then everybody else of the 8 Men Out. But Buck Weaver and then Shoeless Joe, for just how good they were, how well they still played in that World Series, despite the whole fiasco with the taking of the money. John Cusak, very good actor, very entertaining actor. This is right around one of his earlier heights in the end of the 80s, where he was that teen heartthrob moving into his 20s, and they played off it. The music and everything chosen, it's very end of the 80s, early 90s style movie, which kind of hurts it in some ways as far as being taken seriously. It works really well for things like Major League, which are supposed to be funny. This is a real story and a serious story that came off a little hokey at times. So I agree with you. I think 7.2 is a little overrated. They obviously, didn't get the story completely, but that's Hollywood. They never do. Watching a great show right now called Winning Time. Did they get it right? No, absolutely not. They got plenty of things wrong, but they make it entertaining. So it's Hollywood. It's what they do. But I'm in agreement with you.
And that's
worth
the thing,
seeing.
though.
It's worth
right,
seeing, but it's not worth 7.2.
It is. And that's the thing, right? I think I'm more disappointed in the inaccuracies and the bad historical record of the book than I am the movie, because you and I have talked at length about this. We've both read the book, we've both seen the movie, and I introduced you to that guy through his work, not actually the person of the guy that is like the authority on the 1919 Black Sox. It's just disappointing when you have somebody that puts in print stuff that is not accurate. Yeah. And that, to me, as a writer and creator, is something that is...
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?